This is a TalkStation original podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Paper Boys podcast. I'm JJ Smith.
And I'm Zach Nally.
We're reporters with the Carteret County News-Times. Today we will be talking about the future after we talked about the past last week.
2024 has become 2025.
Don't look back anymore.
No.
Satchel Paige said, don't look back, they might be gaining on you.
Well, it's here.
So last week we did our top 10 stories of 2024 because that was the story that we do every year in the News-Times. We do our top 10 stories of the year. So we went over those, and we don't do a story every year in the newspaper looking ahead to looking ahead to the next year. So we're going to do that here.
Yeah.
We have the same top 10, but we have the order different. And this is what we are most looking forward to in 2025.
Individually.
Right. All right. So you start.
I feel like we should start with you.
Okay. We'll start with me. Number 10 is...
Oh, we're going from 10 to 1.
Yeah, 10 to 1.
Great.
David Letterman style. You got to have the drum roll.
The drum snare.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So number 10, the Morehead City Marlins, will they get back to their new normal?
Okay.
Missed the playoffs last year. That's not them. Not of late. Not only are they a playoff team, they are perennial competing for a Coastal Plain League championship.
And it's worth pointing out that when you do have that level of success sustained over a period of time, you expect to have occasional dip.
Sure.
So do you think that the trend will continue and they'll just have one more year of kind of trying to figure things out, or do you think they're going to get right back to it?
I think they'll get right back to it. I mean, what was that, about a 4-year run they had there?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think since really 2019. I mean,
yeah. Or 18.
18, yeah. That's right.
So, yeah, I think that was a dip, and they'll get back to where they were.
Yeah. And I mean, they've got some new things going on with the stadium.
Sure.
The town and the stadium have made some new arrangements, and owner Buddy Bengal is always trying to infuse some new things into that ballpark. Things that for people that are fans of baseball or just want to go have a night out. Obviously, when you have a program that has that level of success and you're 0.5 miles from the beach, it's a little bit easier to try to keep people coming to your place and trying to, either play for a championship or maybe take that one last crack at getting noticed by scouts or MLB teams. That's really, the point of these summer programs. Keep these kids fresh, but they also give them exposure. And when you succeed as a team, that's even better.
Kind of a weird deal last year where they failed to qualify for the playoffs for the first time since 2017.
Yeah.
And did so despite having the best pitching staff in the league.
Well, and they've had great pitching for a
hot
minute. Isn't that interesting that if you don't have the bats?
Yeah, this day and age, everybody says you have to have pitching.
Yeah.
So it was funny that that didn't work out for them. And like you said, they've killed it in pitching lately.
They really have.
They had been the cream of the crop in the CPL. They had won 2 Pettit Cup titles in 18 and 19. They finished as a runner-up in 21. They had the best record in the league in 3 of the last 4 years. But last year they go 25 and 21. So just a little over 500.
Yeah.
So kind of an anomaly. Just could not get the bats going the whole year. So I think they'll bounce back. They'll probably have the pitching again. They'll get the offense figured out, and they'll be good to go.
I think so.
What number was that for you?
I had them at number 9.
Okay.
And it's not because I'm not excited about them having success. I think it's because when you have that level of success for that long, it's less on my radar.
Yeah, you're almost expecting it.
Sure.
Right. All right.
They could win another title, and I might not have that at number 1 because it's just
you hate to say it because it's
is.
really hard, but it's ho-hum.
Expectations. Yeah.
Big deal. You won another one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is not great for them because they're like, no, it's really hard. You should know how hard it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my number 10 was a little bit different.
Okay.
It may be it's Carteret Community College's sports program that they announced just a few weeks back. It's not starting in 2025. It's set to start in 2026. But we expect this year to see the development. Where are they going to play? Are the sports they've chosen, are they finalized? It's women's cross country, women's soccer, and men's baseball. Where are they playing? I'm assuming they're playing baseball at the Big Rock Stadium. Where are they playing women's soccer? Where are they running? What will the uniforms look like? Will we see local athletes decide to stay close to town,
Right.
and play here or compete here instead of going to some Division III down the road and paying more money than they need to. I'm really excited to see sort of how this shakes up the sports atmosphere of Carteret County. I mean, heck, we may have another school to cover this time, 18 months from now.
Sure. I had that much higher up.
Really?
That's your 10?
That's my 10.
And yours probably in a
Well, because it's not actually
right.
Right. You talk to me 1 year from now,
Yeah,
and that's going to be much
you're
higher.
top
because
3.
Here it is.
Top 3 for you then. Yeah.
But it's really sort of a far off. We know it's coming.
Sure.
We know that it's going to be impactful, but it's not here yet.
Sure. Yeah, looking at listening to you where you had yours and talking about yours and seeing where I had mine. I think you've got it in a better
How far
place.
up did you have yours?
I've got it number 5.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's college sports in
brand
Carteret
new.
County.
It's brand new.
It's brand new. Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's my list really reflects a lot of what is. If it's different, then I'm going to be drawn to it like a.
Well, we've both been doing this for a while, and just get really excited about something different.
Truly.
Yeah.
And it's not about monotony. It's just that you're excited about what could be
right
with this new different thing.
I mean, my gosh, I get excited when they just have different non-conference teams playing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're playing some random team from Wilson or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, oh, okay. What?
Right.
What's their mascot?
Zach Nally had a good column November 15th. If you want to go to the CarteretNewsTimes.com and search sports at CCC, just makes sense. That was a good column.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr.
Yeah,
Smith.
good job by you.
It just does.
It just does make sense.
Now, JJ does not feel confident that the mascot should remain the Kraken.
I'm not big on. I'll go ahead and say it.
Are you not
I'll make
convinced
it,
by the number of Kraken that live off our shores?
I'll make it known. I'm not a big Kraken guy. I don't like that.
I think the concept of the mascot is lovely. It's a mythological creature.
Right.
It's got cool colors, but I really prefer like location based.
I would admit I'm super anal about hyperlocal.
You live in a really unique place,
dude. You could have
pick any number of things,
and I agree that you can't be the Marlins because that's already taken. But dude, you could be the hard crabbers, the wahoo,
sturgeon,
the cobia. Look how mean a cobia looks.
Sure.
I mean, you could be the surfers.
There's a number of things.
I mean, the wave. I mean, my God, just so many things. Of all the Kraken, what does Kraken got to do with Carteret County? No offense to whoever came up with that.
It's a cool mascot.
I don't dislike the mascot.
It's just the wrong application.
I mean, come on. If we were out somewhere we were in some region that didn't have anything that we were known for.
Sure.
Right. But
absolutely,
come on, let's get local.
Well, we also know there's lots of cougars that run out in the Croatan Forest. And,
lots of Mariners at East Carteret.
Well, the Mariners that's the best one.
That's the best one in the county.
Yeah,
just because it's local.
And I get Patriots with the base.
And I do love how they play into it. Like everything's red, white, and blue, and the star, the flag, and yeah. So but let's work on the mascot. All right, my number 9 is the West Carteret girls basketball team going for 4 in a row. That has only happened one time in the history of a school that is now going on 60 years old. So anytime you do something for just the second time in history, that's pretty good. The only other time it's been done is 79 to 82.
Well, I can. Is it just that school? I mean, has East done this before?
East just won their 3rd, and that's the only time they had done that. Girls.
So no school's ever won 4.
And Croatan girls, I don't think Croatan girls have ever done 4. No.
Even that great group with Kelly Haggerty now. I don't think.
I mean, it's tough. 4 in a row.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, especially because oftentimes they don't align with the realignment pattern that you're in right now. And it just so happens that West is going to take advantage of all 4 years of this current conference.
So, yeah, Croatan girls have only won 2 in a row. East girls just for the first time, again, 60-year school, just won 3 in a row for the first time. So going for 4 is legit. Yeah, that's big time.
Well, and this is, conferences are going to be changing soon.
Right.
So this is it.
Right.
You're not getting another chance.
And Croatan boys have never won 4 in a row. West boys have never won 4 in a row. And East boys, I think, have only done that once.
With that group.
Billy. That was 7.
7 in a row.
Isn't that incredible?
Well, no one's beating that.
Basketball, yeah. So, yeah, legit. And they have got a good shot.
Well, I had that as number 8 because
okay.
I do think it's exciting, but again, just like the Marlins, when you've won 3 in a row, Even though adding a fourth is new,
right.
It's still just the same old.
Big deal. You just won another conference championship. You've been doing that regularly now.
And I mean, this is going to offend some people, and I am so sorry. It is the truth that this conference was put in place to give programs who would not otherwise normally get an opportunity.
It's not a powerhouse girls basketball conference.
It's not a powerhouse any sport conference.
Or boys
soccer.
Or boys basketball either.
Soccer is the only one you could make an argument that
sure, because Croatan won they weren't in that conference when they won the state title. They were
not.
No.
It was 19.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, Dixon, Richlands, White Oak.
Yeah. Croatan went to the third round the year before.
Absolutely. It's a Swansboro is a classic program. Obviously, Croatan West.
This is I feel like it's a cross country and track and field conference.
Yeah, but that's because they're already the best in the region.
Right.
But
they do well statewide too.
Well, sure, but I mean, like,
it's a pretty good wrestling conference.
It is. It is.
Croatan, West Dixon.
That's true.
White Oak's good this year.
That's a good
Swansboro.
point. But I just think in a lot of sports, this was they put the baddies all in a group.
State level wide.
Your New Berns, your Havelocks, your Jacksonvilles.
Right.
Your D.H. Conleys. They put all those folks. They gave you 4 years. And kudos to anyone who maybe, like West Football won their first conference championship.
Went back to back.
In 60 or whatever, since they first opened. And so kudos to everybody.
Well, that's what happens when you finally don't have to play Havelock.
And that's probably coming to an end. So, yeah.
Number 8 for me would staying on the girls basketball beat is West's matchup with Croatan. They will play on January the 24th, and they will play on February 13th. Swansboro is looking pretty decent in that conference, but those 2 games might be your 2-game series for the conference championship.
Well, the idea is, and we called this at the beginning, the hope is that it comes down to the last game.
Yeah. And the regular season finale.
It would be great if it was for outright, but it will likely be if one team loses, it's a tie, and if the other team win, and if they win, it's a outright win for that one team.
That has been the super cool thing about this conference is how many times has a conference championship race come down to West and Croatan?
A county matchup. I mean,
tennis, golf.
I wonder too what it's done
wrestling
to the rivalry.
It's got to up it, right? It's
a school that's only been here for 25 years, 26 years.
Croatan.
Yeah. And even, West and East, that's the real, for years, that's been the real matchup. But East has gotten smaller. Croatan's gotten bigger and gotten better at athletics. And since they've been in the same conference, I find those games are often much more entertaining.
Talk to people in the county, and they will tell you that the Western folks will tell you that their rivalry passion now is probably more them and Croatan than it is East.
I think so because the size disparity is so big.
Right.
Outside of like football and basketball, where you might have football. I don't get it. East could have 14 kids, and that game might be 28-27. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Rivalry records don't matter in a rivalry. That game they say, right? Yeah.
But basketball we saw this year what West and East looked like. And,
tough.
The down years, but
sure.
Numbers wise, East Carteret has gotten so much smaller in the last 10 years.
They've lost 200 or 300 kids in the past 20 years, 30 years.
And then whereas Croatan is now poised to be the biggest school.
It's accelerating.
Yeah. So that plays a big role.
So what number was that for you?
Oh, I had that as number 6.
Okay. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's your number 7?
Well, because I had Big Rock at number 7.
Or is this your number 8? What number?
No. Yeah, I'm on number 7.
Okay.
Here. I had Big Rock there.
Okay.
And the reason I have it low, first off, where do you have it?
I have it at 4.
Okay, I figured maybe top 5.
Yeah.
The reason I have it so low is because I don't see how they can up the ante.
Well, the theme is if it's the same old, then even if it's amazing, same old, still the same old.
Yeah, look at the last 2 years. Last year you had 2.
In fact, the fact that it gets a more amazing and keeps growing is kind of boring. That it's like we expected this. You keep topping yourself.
I think the only way that I could be excited about what happens is if it's totally different. So like 2 years ago was totally different than last year. Last year, 2 hometown or 2 relatively local groups, including our own Down East Brent Gaskell.
Right.
The drama.
Awesome.
The last second stuff. The year before that, come on, Sensation.
Oh my gosh.
Midnight on the last night.
Oh my gosh.
That was its own thing. So you have one that kind of went negative and one that goes really positive.
Sure.
I don't really see no matter what happens, it's not going to be bigger than one of those two things.
Right. Yeah. How are you topping that?
Okay, there is one way, actually.
Yeah.
There is one way, and it was the way they were hoping that would happen this year, and that's that we get our first $4 million winner.
Instead of the splitting it up the way they did.
Yeah.
Everybody got, 1.8, the top three?
Exactly.
Which they said
the first year that you were eligible to potentially win more than $4 million.
Right. Yeah, when somebody gets like the big...
Yeah, if you get all the levels...
The Powerball.
Fabulous Fisherman, you get it all rolled up into one, and you're going to get a nice payday.
Yeah, sure.
Now, I'll be excited to see a $4 million winner. Will I be excited if it's from some boat from Corpus Christi?
Or New Jersey or something?
No, I'm so sorry.
Right.
Welcome to Moorhead, and we hope you had a blast. But from our perspective,
yeah, we want to see local.
I want to see somebody local.
Yeah.
Also,
the only thing at this point, because they just keep topping themselves, is a record, a 900-pounder.
Well, sure.
Or how about
then
somebody brings in a grander?
Okay, that would be wonderful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like the fish have been trending light the last 5 years.
It feels like it, yeah.
I mean, really, my first year, Inspiration 1, I think it was like, 750s range. And then obviously 6 years ago, Top Dog with their 900 and I think 14 pounds.
Right.
And so
the whole sensation thing, that was a low 600s.
Yeah, I just don't feel like these fish are. No, we have more marlin than ever before.
A lot more.
And I think the water surface temperature changing, and bringing them further north sooner. I mean, I remember this year, it was a few weeks before Memorial Day hit that they were already really strong. The Swansboro Memorial Day tournament had a great turnout as well because it was just fish were hopping.
And we did our Marlin Masters series last summer. Check that out at wherever you find your podcast.
And we plan on doing that again this year.
Yeah, with some new
Speaking
captains.
of looking ahead 2025.
Every captain we talked to was brought up about the sonar, and how that's helped catching so much more now.
Yeah, but so money, like anything, the more popular, the bigger something gets, the more money plays a role here. You've got 2 camps that now fish in this tournament. You've got the camp that spent as much as they might win on their boat, and for them, the week down here, the cost between gas and gear and everything else. I mean, I think a lot of you're talking about omnidirectional sonar. You're talking about what's the thing that keeps the boat level that most people have nowadays?
Oh, right.
There's just a lot of different tools, and if you don't, I'm not going to name him. We spoke to a few people on that Marlin Masters, and a couple of them off the record said if you don't have omnidirectional sonar, you're not winning this tournament.
It's gotten to that point. So how about this? Since 17, so what's that? 8 years?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the past 8 have been under 600 pounds.
Yeah.
They've been 500 something.
And not just that. My first 5 years doing this, because I started I think my first big rock would have been 14. So 14, 15, 16, 17. So the first 4 years, there was very rare to see a fish under 400 pounds come to the dock.
Oh, yeah.
I expect to see 3 or 4 now every year.
Gosh, the last day, how many did we have? 2,
At least
3?
2 or 3.
Yeah.
And so, people are so... I honestly wonder if they don't up that Fabulous Fisherman weight at some point to try to keep people from... Because that's why they bring it in.
Because it's hard to tell, they say, yeah.
Yeah.
So you had it 7, I had it 4, is that right?
Yeah,
Big
that's
Rock?
right.
I still got it top 5 because it's Big Rock.
I get it. It's
the most exciting week of the year.
For this county and this part of the state, nothing's better.
Yeah. My number 7 was, and my 9, 8, and 7 are all girls basketball.
Okay.
Is Croatan girls and their future. They are currently 7-1. They have not played the toughest non-conference schedule out there, but hey, 7-1, 7-1. They have no seniors on the team. Mm-hmm. It's 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores that are starting. And you don't want to put pressure on anybody, but is this
What number is this for you?
Number 7.
I got a 5.
Okay. Wow, so you're...
Well, when you have a young group that's doing well, you really watch them.
It's always fun to think about the future, right? Mm. Is this the next Callie Haggerty, Savannah McAloon, Natalie Show, Allie Roth group?
I don't know.
You don't want to put that on them because you don't want to put expectations too high, but kind of the talk around is maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 3 years ago, there was
that group
about,
won back-to-back conference championships.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we'll never forget the would have
Soccer.
been soccer state championship.
maybe could have won a soccer state championship.
On that one. No.
They were 21-4 the year before.
Yeah, with everybody back.
And brought everybody back. Yeah.
But no, I think when you have a young group, it's easy to wonder about what's going to happen. I think the girls basketball program at Croatan is what causes me to pause a little bit. It's a defensive-minded program. It's a program that likes to keep scoring tight.
30s.
So it's not really about... I feel like with that program, the grittier the players are...
Very gritty.
That's what you need with that. You want the patience to wait.
Right.
And the confidence and the wherewithal to when it's down to the last 45 seconds, 2 minutes, you're making the right decisions.
Andrew Gurley is one of... I can't imagine how many people in the state coach football and then a basketball.
Girls, yeah, right.
Especially girls basketball.
Yeah,
but even any basketball, head coach,
sure,
maybe assistant.
Oh yeah, but not
head
coaches.
Man, I can't think of anybody else that does that.
Yeah.
Regionally. And
renowned for his 2-3 zone.
And he coaches and tough man to man. He coaches girls basketball the way he coaches football.
He really does.
It is gritty.
It's power. It's running up the middle. It's 3 yards a run, 3 to 5 yards a run.
It is power. It is tough.
Yeah, and the scores might be 34 to 32.
It's just a boxing match, man. It's just tough, man. Yeah.
And I think that it'll be
to his credit, I think he does with what he has to work with.
He makes
There's no Division I girls at Croatan who are.
And if you look at the records for that program for the last 8 years. It's very good.
Get it done. Yeah.
So it's not like that's a mistake of what he's doing, but it's just that I have not seen enough of this group to know if they're a gritty group or if they're an athletic group. They can shoot buckets. They can do athletic things.
Right.
That group that we talked about before, that was a group that was gritty.
Down on the court.
Savannah, Kelly...
Because they were soccer players.
Allie,
so they were used to changing elbows and yeah.
Not just that, a lot of them played volleyball as well. And
sure.
They were big time multi-sport athletes who had the ability to change up their approach.
For sure. What number was your matchups of Croatan and West playing
6.
this year? That was 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I had the Croatan girls here at number 5.
Okay. And so that was your number 6. We're up to, what are we up to for you?
I know, so it's kind of weird doing it this way where
I think
somebody's number 2 or number 3 might already be gone.
Right.
We moving on to number 5?
Sure,
or number 4?
Because you just said number 6 was the matchup.
No, 5 is the girls basketball team in their future. So I'm up to number 4.
Okay.
Croatan boys lacrosse.
Okay.
Where do you have them?
That is my number 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a beat here.
Well, I get super excited anytime I get the opportunity to cover a state championship team. And it happens about once a year, if that. Like this year was West volleyball. Now Croatan boys is coming up lacrosse. It's just really exciting. We don't cover typically the running sports. We don't go cover track and field meets.
No.
We don't cover cross country. And in this county, they win state championships like it's their job.
Sure.
Croatan has here recently anyway. So it's team sports we cover. And the last team sport I covered that won a state championship was Croatan boys soccer, which was 21. So that's been a while.
I believe that was the same year I went to cover girls lacrosse. No, I went in 22.
You covered that one.
23. 23.
23, because they didn't win it this past. They didn't cover it. They didn't win it 24. They didn't repeat.
Yeah.
You're right.
So it was 23. 23.
So again, 23. There's 21. We get a chance maybe once a year, maybe
to
once every couple.
Championship.
Yeah, once every couple
if
years.
You averaged it out once every
team
4
sports.
to 5 years.
Yeah, team sports. You're probably right.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I've covered 2.
Okay.
That was East Carteret girls soccer in 2004. I guess it would have been 14.
No, you're right. And I'm 18 in, and I've only covered 3.
So 4 to 6 years.
I covered 2 boys, East boys.
Yeah, it's not something we get
basketball, and I covered Croatan boys soccer.
Yeah,
is that it? Well, I early days I went and covered some wrestling.
Okay,
Croatan went back in the day, so that's not true. So I've covered like 5.
You've had East boys basketball a couple times though.
Too. Yeah, 2 times.
Not to win, but to play for it.
Yeah.
even playing for it.
Well,
We'll
and
take
Croatan
that.
dual team too. Gosh, actually, Croatan wrestling, I probably covered like 4 or 5, so maybe I'm up to like 10.
Okay, there you go.
But they have the dual and the tournament, so that's not fair. They have
different.
2.
Yeah.
But it's rare. It's rare. So the fact
So
that
this is exciting for you.
I get in the spring. I might get to cover a state championship.
You're gonna go cover it?
Oh, for sure.
So sorry, Maceo.
and I say state champ. It's even fun covering regional finals because
It
you're
is.
right there. Those back-to-back years for West boys basketball, that was so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
Jackson Ellensworth and that gang, man. The Cummings boys,
Absolutely.
and JJ Montford, and yeah, man, that was Starling. That was
I
fun.
think JJ Williams was there that first year of those.
No, that was after.
Was it after? Okay.
Yeah. But man, we covered the Northwood game, the COVID weird. That was such a weird game. And then,
I love games where you're in that gym when it's still light out. Those are really nice.
And then the
On
next year,
Saturday.
I went up to Southern Lee, which was like a regional place, but they were playing 71st. And,
that's right.
And they just
That's
missed their free
right.
throws. They could have both years. They could have easily won both those to go in the state title game.
But even that one is different because, like, you take someone like a Jackson Ellensworth, who we were told vehemently by Coach Mark Mansfield at the time that watch out for this kid.
Like his
This kid's
sophomore
coming up.
year.
Yeah, well, and we didn't know who he was.
His sophomore year, he hadn't done a whole lot.
Floppy-haired kind of guy. And
we just thought it was coach speak. Like, sure.
Sure, but no, that was proof.
Man, junior year, he killed it.
But the difference is that with Croatan lacrosse, you knew from the moment they stepped out onto the field as freshmen.
We're just waiting 3 or 4 years.
And I mean, it could have been their sophomore year. It could have been their junior year.
Right.
And it wouldn't have surprised me.
Right. And junior year, they went to the regional final. First time in school history. A very competitive game with Orange.
And so just like East boys basketball, we love it when they
lose.
when they go to the second round as freshmen, and they go to the third round as sophomores, and they go to the regional finals as juniors.
Right.
And now we fully expect them to go to a state final as seniors.
And Orange, the same arc. When they beat Croatan last year in the regional final, that was their 3rd straight year in the regional final. Had lost the first 2. So it's like you love to see that narrative.
Holy cow! Did they win?
They lost to Lake Norman Charter, who was a powerhouse. But you just love to see that we love that narrative of getting there, getting closer.
How
getting
confident
closer.
are you in that they will bring it home?
Orange, and I don't know about the rest of the state, but Orange had a kid who went to Lenore Rhine, which is the national champion, Division II.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was phenomenal. And I'm trying to remember his name, and it's like Kluse, I want to say. Kruse, Kruse. He was phenomenal. I don't want to say he single-handedly beat Croatan, but he was really, really, really good. He graduated, and so the next guy who was in stats for as far as Orange, now Orange might be back, I don't know, but was like 100 points less than him. He was that good. So I'm thinking they are going to be preseason favorite in the East, at least. So it's exciting. It's fun.
I think it'll be, it'll be a lot of fun to see what they do.
Well, and plus, not only is it always fun for me to get a chance to cover a state championship, team state championship, but this is a new sport, and that's kind of cool and fun and exciting. It's not another boys basketball in Carteret County where West has done it, East has done it.
Girls
well,
state championship.
But look how new it is.
True.
I mean, this is only going to be their boys.
And I'd like to point out too that by the time that they play, the majority of them who are going to play lacrosse in college will know where they're playing.
Right.
That's taken care of.
Right.
They're seniors.
Right.
That last semester of senior year, I mean, we've seen the trend. Some of them may be out of class by 11 a.m., noon.
Right.
It's a very different experience being a high school senior than it is being a junior.
Right.
Maybe that frees them up, takes a little bit of pressure off their shoulders to go out there and just have fun.
Sure. So that was my number 1. Your number 4.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 6, which I think you would have had your number 6.
I must have that up high.
Is and I just know this is your number 1. Cannon McBride.
You think that's my number 1?
I know that's your number 1.
How do you don't know me?
Stop it.
That's number 1. Oh man, for those listening who are not fans of Croatan, this is gonna hurt. And I
don't know. Sorry. I think we got an even pretty match of West and Croatan on here.
We don't get to see, and we have not seen Cannon show anything yet
in football.
Right. We know he's a good basketball player. We know he's
very
a good
basketball
soccer player.
Very good soccer player.
And while it would be great if he were phenomenal in just those 2 sports, I have not seen somebody be truly dominant as a quarterback in football and be the best basketball player in the county.
Right.
I've never seen that.
Right.
The closest would be Deshaun Jones, but he wasn't the quarterback.
That's right. He was everything.
And he was
Swiss Army knife.
He was very good. Cannon appears poised to be very, very good at both those sports.
Right.
As a junior,
he appears to be
now we should back up a second.
a college athlete.
We should back up a second.
Well, also let me say that
right now,
one of the reasons you're so excited about it is because we see girls come in as freshmen and right off the bat they're good. We rarely see boys be varsity level. Starting. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I was playing 13-year-olds last year,
right?
And now I'm playing 17, 18-year-olds, and I'm holding my own,
right.
As a freshman, you're like, man, and when that kid gets to be a junior, senior, look out.
Well, and he's growing.
Yeah,
he's gotten taller.
He's already added a couple
inches,
a couple pounds.
But let's back up a moment and be reporters here. Cannon McBride does not play quarterback as a starter at Croatan High School. He is a kicker.
He is a kicker.
He is a backup quarterback.
Very good kicker.
A very good kicker.
Who can, according to him, can do it.
I imagine so.
Over 50.
Sure.
Can connect.
Right now, he is exclusively a boys soccer player and a basketball player.
Correct.
We
are assuming.
I mean, like 99.99% sure, based on rumors, based on chatter that this gentleman is not playing.
He has played backup quarterback for a couple years.
And
been soccer.
And Coleman Davis has graduated.
Because as a boy in the fall, you have a choice.
That's right.
You can play soccer, you can play football.
Now, he does play both, but he plays a
but
minimal
you're kicker.
role.
Right, you can do that. Right. But to be a full-time soccer player and a quarterback, I don't know about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he has a decision to make. We assume he's going to make a certain decision.
Apparently, he was very good at Broad Creek.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
We have another discussion coming up about realignment.
Uh-huh.
And if I'm Cannon McBride, am I playing soccer or am I playing football lining up against certain defenses that are coming to town?
The conference, as we know it now, is not the conference that's going to be.
You're not playing Richlands. You're not playing Dixon. You're not playing...
Swansboro.
Sure, there you go.
Sure.
Good point. So I'd be curious to see. But no, I mean, if he ends up being the best football and the best basketball player in the county his junior or senior year...
You're right. It's a rare thing.
I've never seen that.
Right. Deshaun Jones...
Yeah, I've never.
It's probably the only one in the past 10 years, and I don't know. I don't think he was the best basketball player in the county.
You could say
at his school,
and even like how about someone like a Bo Studebaker?
Sure,
who was a state championship wrestler and a great quarterback.
Sure,
it's not the same as basketball.
Well, even
and he played basketball.
Even Jock Brown, who was
football,
really good,
not the quarterback.
But not the quarterback. Yeah, quarterback is
there's some exceptions. There's some asterisks.
Quarterback,
here.
Right.
I don't want to see, and even then, I don't want to see a quarterback that throws for 800 yards being. I want to see.
You want to see Brendan Lewis.
I want to see.
You want to see Jalen
2,500 passing yards
and 30 touchdowns.
And I want to see
500 rushing
20
yards.
Points a game in basketball.
You want to see legit.
I want to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just don't get that here in this county.
If you want to read up on Cannon McBride, he was not too long ago our student athlete of the week. I want to say it was about a month ago. And I joked with him on the phone. I was like, "Look, you're a shooting guard who's probably going to have an opportunity to play college at shooting guard. I don't know. We'll not put any levels on this.
No.
He's a college athlete in soccer, whatever level. He, from all talk about again chatter, he might be a college quarterback. But the funny thing is, that's the three things you think of him for. He might get the best offer for being a kicker.
Look.
He might get a big-time Division I offer for being a kicker.
And that's part of being a reporter in Carteret County. I've seen a number of exceptional basketball players, football players, soccer players who go for track, who go for...
Well, we have that right now in the county.
Who's that?
Josiah Jones.
There you go.
Who's was our player of the year in football. Sure. He might do track and field in college.
Because the truth is, there is good, and sometimes there's
plus. What would I know? What I would choose if I get to play 4 years of college football or 4 years of track and field?
Around like a rag
my gosh!
Or to test my athletic ability, stay in shape,
and maybe maybe compete for conference championships
and get paid to do it.
Yeah,
come on,
get scholarships. Yeah, I don't want to play Division I football. Come on, or Division II football.
It's rare that we get somebody from this county who is going to go play and be a star.
Maybe.
at that level.
We'll see.
It's not common
We'll
here.
see. He's a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
He's an excellent student, and it's just exciting to see somebody. I don't remember somebody coming in.
He's a nice kid.
Well, it's like Jackson Ellingsworth. He broke out junior and senior.
Sure.
We don't see a lot of people
Sure.
scoring double digits in basketball as freshmen.
But at the same time, we knew who this kid was in 8th grade. Now, part of that is because his dad is an educator.
Scott
He was a
McBride,
coach.
former big-time student athlete at West Carteret.
Granddad Bruce McBride.
A Division I athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a
Right.
family in Carteret County sports.
Right. Sister
people.
was an athlete.
That's right.
Sure.
So
some
Yeah.
legacy stuff, too.
For me, just the possibility of being
Right.
the best football and basketball player as a quarterback is enough to be number one in my book.
My number 3 is kind of the same thing, in the same vein, is we will have 3 quarterbacks this
my
year in
number
the
3
county.
as well.
Oh, nice.
I think now we are fully aligned, and number 2 will be the same.
Oh, sure. Tanner Payne, who
Yep.
had a fantastic first year in varsity football. Luke McIntosh, who was the offensive player of the year in the conference for East Carteret.
Sure.
And Kenny McBride. Man, that's 3 really good quarterbacks.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
when Brennan was here,
Who was at West and Croatan?
I know Jake Freeman was there that one year. He was there was a lot of pitching and running there.
That was back when West was just running the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Croatan had Tommy Clark.
Again, running the rock.
Who we love, Tommy Clark.
Yeah.
And then there was a kid there in between. Oh gosh, I always forget his name.
Well, shoot, Croatan really hasn't thrown the ball like like Aaron Stahl, who played, who got a Division I baseball scholarship.
Well, I think only two guys that I've seen there in the last 11 years have ever really thrown the ball.
It's running quarterbacks. Yeah. These guys are
Tommy
going to
Clark. Well, you're right. It was a lot of play action.
I mean, these 3 legitimately combined next year could throw 7,000 yards.
75, yeah.
I mean, that's crazy in Carteret County.
Would not be out of the question. And what's great is that 2 years ago, 2 of those starters aren't on the radar.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week. Tanner Payne, the result of a kind of a win-win scenario
for West, absolutely,
where
and
Jalen
Havelock
transfers to Havelock,
right?
Gets the exposure he needs.
Havelock
gets a quarterback.
Leads the state in passing.
Tanner Payne was where in the state?
Like 15th or something, I think. 20th.
Who would not have thrown for more than 300 yards if Jalen had stayed.
He'd watched.
Yeah. So, and then Luke was a transfer.
From Pinecrest.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who did sit his first year.
Right.
And now played last year, and now obviously he'll be the starter this year. You're right. I don't think we've ever had that in our time.
And we're talking, again, combined 7,500, combined maybe 60 touchdowns.
And, Croatan adjusted their offense this year.
Through it started to open it up.
We believe in preparation for throwing the ball even more. Also,
this is another thing we've got. Last year was the first year in the regular season that they had finished above 500. Everybody went 6-5. And Croatan brings back 17 starters. East brings back 15, and West brings back 13. That's probably one of the best years we've ever seen as far as returning.
I think West is the question mark because you lose Josiah, you lose Sean Cartwright, you lose
a lot of that skill position talent.
A lot of those because they had an embarrassment of riches.
Right, they were like 4 or 5 deep.
Yeah. And so whoever's left
Willis
behind,
Langley.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
you're going to be the number one.
But man, that's probably going to be one of my most anticipated football seasons.
Who is the Z receiver on that team?
Since I've been at the paper, to have 3 quarterbacks that you're excited about, to have a lot of starters back. Again, some of that's going to be dampened by what we're getting ready to talk about, our other big story of the year.
Oh, God bless. The good times are over.
And so that was the number 3 for both of us.
Yeah.
And number 2 for both of us is realignment.
Yeah. And I mean, we've only had our first draft. We're still in the middle of appeals.
Just the first draft.
We won't really know the final bit until April. It may not change at all.
It probably won't, but it might.
But this is it, and we've written about this in columns. We've spoken about this on the podcast. When they made this conference, they gave these programs.
You've had, what is it? Just the 4 years we've had this. Just 4 years.
4 years.
It's like, dude, you're going to be able to do some stuff.
This is it.
Again, West Carteret winning the first football championship in what was it?
Since 65, I think.
What was the year? How many was it?
I don't know, but I know
51. Was that the number?
Something like that.
51 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think boys basketball, they didn't win until the year before realignment.
That's right.
Maybe that was like 33 or
That was 33.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've seen some big numbers drop.
Absolutely.
Girls tennis just won for the first time in like 20 years.
Sure.
We're seeing big numbers drop.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so great that all that happened. But
let's stay on the football beat.
That's the biggest. That's the biggest thing. So it's traditionally, for the past 4 years, it's been Weston Croatan, which we were so excited about because it's the first time in the history of Croatan that they had been in the same conference. Dixon, Richlands, Swansboro, and White Oak.
That's right. All within a 10-minute drive.
Travel's been amazing.
Yeah.
Ask Michael Turner and Dave Bowl about and the Gate because these have all been good travel teams.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is over.
It's a different deal.
So Western Croatan, we anticipated staying the same,
right?
In the same conference because their attendance numbers are pretty close.
True,
and that has been the case.
It's going from 4 classifications to 8.
That's right.
So it's doubling.
Yeah. Why don't you give a brief overview on what's happened here?
Well, we probably should have been more than 4 for the past like 10 years, maybe. 4 has been too little. I think 8 is too much. I think 6 would have.
Do.
6, yeah, most do. We talked to Brian Simmons.
What you're going to do is get a watered down version of.
We talked to Chris Hughes. Neither one of them were fans. They both didn't want 8. I don't think I want 8. You don't want 8. 8's a little bit too much. 6 would have been a good medium spot there. And so you're really stretching it out, or thinning it out, I should say. Instead of like 60 teams per division, it's going to go down to like 30 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So the new conference for Western Croatan, thankfully they stay the same. They get to still compete with each other. They're now 5A, and they keep Richlands and Dixon, which is good. They've been playing those teams forever. But going is White Oak, going is Swansboro, and who else is going? Swansboro, White Oak.
Well, let's just name the new conference. So Western Croatan are in a split 4A, 5A conference with Dixon, Richlands, Havelock, Northside Jacksonville, East Duplin, and Southwest Onslow.
Yeah, traditionally speaking, Havelock and East Duplin are powerhouses.
When it comes to football. 100%.
Powerhouses. Competing for a state championship.
Every single year.
A bad year for them is losing like in the 3rd round.
Now, it's worth noting that East Duplin will be a 4A, while Western Croatan will be 5A.
And Southwest Onslow will be 4A too.
Sure.
They're the 2 4As. Sure. Right.
But Havelock will be in the same playoff seeding as Western Croatan.
Right.
And they're not going away.
That's tough for football.
What I love about this is 4 years ago, West was in a conference with Northside, Havelock, and Richlands, while Croatan was in a conference with East Duplin, Southwest Onslow.
So they just combined all of it.
Yeah. And left out the people who were on the fringe, like Trask and Pender and Lejeune. And,
right. There was talk there a little bit that North Lenoir might be in this conference.
Sure.
I would love that. Something different. Something new.
I think it's a little too weak in certain sports to compete.
So we're losing what? We're losing Swansboro and White Oak, and who's the other one we're losing? No, that's it. Because there's 4 now of the same.
Swansboro
and White Oak.
That's it.
And so we've switched those out with Havelock, Northside Jacksonville, East Duplin, and Swan. But on the plus side, and you can ask the ADs about this, we hope to.
Well, no, you said White Oak and Swansboro.
White Oak and Swansboro. That's what we lost.
That's right.
It's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. The ADs love that.
8 teams.
8-team conference.
That's true.
Super helps with non-conference scheduling. A lot of your schedule every year is just done in every sport.
But you're playing Southwest Onslow. You're playing East Duplin.
Southwest Onslow, I think their boys and girls basketball is really good this year. East Duplin's not so much basketball. Havelock's really good in wrestling. Man, you're getting rid of Swansboro and White Oak who are good in wrestling. So I was going to say that's going to make it more
Havelock
powerhouse.
girls specifically. And boys, Weston and Havelock
Always
boys
good.
used to go at it.
Yeah. Northside Jacksonville's been pretty good in soccer.
They were also a basketball powerhouse.
But you're losing Swansboro and White Oak soccer, so maybe it's not so much a soccer conference anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, not like it was.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of the sports, you remain in the same boat.
Football is the biggest change.
I do think basketball is going to end up being a challenge as well.
It's tougher now. Well, we say that, and Swansboro's been lights out in boys for the last couple of years.
Maybe Havelock and Richlands end up with a similar record, but Havelock plays different.
Yeah,
those kids are coming off the football field. They are it's just tougher.
And let me look up real quick, and we'll see what the basketball is doing this year at Southwest Onslow. Boys are 11-2.
Come on, man.
They're playing really well.
And didn't Northside win a couple state titles a few years back?
In the Max Preps 2A East rankings, Southwest Onslow right now is number 1.
Yeah, come on.
That's tough.
Well, and that's so. The reason I do know that, you know where those 2 losses are to? Swansboro.
Girls
will not be in this conference.
Girls are 7-4, but I think they've played a tough schedule. So when we go to the rankings,
they played
they're 15th in 2A East, so they're pretty good. That's going to be a tougher conference for basketball. And it's funny to say that because we're losing Swansboro, and Swansboro has been lights out. But it would have been nice to keep that conference because Swansboro is going to lose like everybody, right?
Yeah.
In boys.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, there's no question.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in a conference split 6A, 7A with White Oak, Jacksonville, and God bless them, J.H. Rose, D.H. Conley, South Central, and New Bern.
Greenville.
So basically, they took that big fat everybody in the area conference and took away 2 of them and added White Oak and Swansboro to the mix.
So super interesting to see how that goes and to see what sports it affects, to see if we can keep seeing conference championships at Croatan and West the way we have. Both those are extremely good athletic programs, have been killing it in conference championships recently. So has some of that been this conference they've been in, or will they just keep it rolling?
I expect us to have a couple of columns from both you and I on the drop-off.
Because you think you're going to see a drop-off.
There's no question.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah.
This was a weak conference and a lot of sports.
Yeah. I think you're going to hear some blowback from that.
That's fine.
I think you're going to hear some people in some certain sports be like, "What? We have one of the best conferences around."
That's fine. You were celebrating when they made this realignment. Now maybe it turned out to be harder than expected in certain ways.
Right.
But this is not. This is a little bit of a country club conference.
It's very good in golf. They're good in cross country. They're good in tennis.
That's right.
Yeah, soccer has been and anytime you have Onslow County schools, you're going to have a good soccer.
Here come
conference.
the revenue sports schools.
Here come the revenue sports schools,
and with them come a lot of great multi-sport athletes.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, we'll see. So, a lot of interesting things to look forward to in 2025. Thanks as always to our producer Ross Caraway. And we'll see y'all next week.
We're making at least you sound good.